Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. What is up, every Jason? What's going on?
Good morning, Dom. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. That is right. Good morning, Caitlin. Good morning, David. How are you guys doing this morning? How's everybody feeling? Jason is back, y'all. Jason has recovered from
Yeah,
his holiday weekend, his travels. He's just been a busy man.
it is. Yeah, it definitely took me a few days to kind of like come on back down from the Southwest Drive. Did not expect that. Yesterday, I was the day before was my daughter's 10th birthday. It was kind of like a whole day of events, not like huge events, just like it was basically like a yes day for her, and she wanted to like bring her sisters. So we did that, and then we ended the day with my 6-year-old's last t-ball game, and then we had a little party at a distillery that one of the parents owns and manages, and then I woke up at like 8 yesterday, and like my social battery was like drained. I think I might have woke up around like 5:45, and you're on here every day, every single day. And I'm sure that you sometimes feel like, well, I'll tell you how I felt. I felt like if I were to jump on, I wouldn't have anything to add to the conversation.
Yeah.
Even though I usually feel better after like coming on, like it definitely bumps me up one notch. I just felt like I wouldn't have been a net positive, and it was really great to see other people jump on too. So more props to you, Dom, for doing this every single day of your life.
Well, it's not every day. Okay. You guys know that I take most Saturdays and Sundays off.
Yeah, that doesn't count. Just take
Fr
take the W, Dom.
sometimes Friday. But yeah, there's definitely harder days. And again, like you said, most of the time the person on the other end of the screen, other people make it a lot easier um for me to get here. And it's just a morning thing for me, like I've found over the last year or two, just if I just get out of bed, um, yeah, this is a great way to start for sure.
Yeah,
Be out
oh,
on it.
I will always say that. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is if you don't do something like this in your regular life, whether it's online or something, I don't know. It's just good. I feel
Yeah.
like the more people share their stuff, the better. Um, I enjoyed watching the replay yesterday. A lot of sharing out of like hard times going on.
Hmm.
My brother, my other brother Dylan, I think said was at a 4 or 5. So seems like
Yeah.
that's where the Turners were yesterday. Um, really good chats. Ryan's got a thing going, a little dad's men's group going in Brooklyn, which is awesome. Um, kind of along the lines of like I don't know. I just kind of been like I've had this podcast on blast for like the past 2 weeks in driving. Um, and I've kind of noticed that I've brought it up in conversation quite a bit with people in real life. Um, and I feel like I seem to be saying this thing where like I'm doing this work or internal work, and I'm like, well, what does that mean when I say I'm doing work? And I guess for me, that the work is like listening and sometimes writing, um, and I guess talking here. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, just some really good things some good threads that I've found in the past few weeks and months, um, all started by this. So I guess that's kind of my gratitude today.
Yeah. It's like a little grounding. Little brings you back after a long week away or a busy day, of kid fun. I love how we call. Oh, I love that. You call me your Turner brother. I only have a sister. Well, there you go, man. Adopted in to the Turner family.
Brother's got a hug.
Yeah. I love how we call in person real life. Online is real life too. Yep. No, it really is. It's more and more. I think
IRL,
it's
as the kids
yeah.
say these days.
Yeah. Yeah, it's yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know what the reason for it is, like it's from the parent side. I think a little bit has to do with, just seeing our kids in their phones all the time and wanting them to like go be in person with people. I had a little Bailey had she's in cheer camp this week for the summer, and she had a little performance yesterday. So we went to that, and I stayed. um, my wife had to take our son to swim class, so I stayed and waited for Bailey, and just watching her interact with people, even though most of the time when I see her at home, she's very much in her home, in her bed, laying down, playing games, watching TV, all this stuff. Like watching her walk through the school and just having like people yell Bailey, and then they would go run and hug and interact. Like it took us a good like 5 minutes just to walk to the car because of that, but it still made me very happy, to watch her interact, because most of the time I don't see her interact.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it was good, good stuff.
I would take that as a feather in your cap when you can kinda see the effect that your kids have on other people, you
Yeah,
know? Or the people that try to include your kids, uh, in their circle. Don, you said something really interesting yesterday that I thought about the second half of the day. Um, you mentioned it was something along the lines of you get on in the mornings here and you're away from home 3 or 4 days out of the week, and, like, you're talking about being a dad, and then you end up being, like, away for 3 days, and then
yep,
you're mostly there at your site, and that really that kinda struck a chord in me, because in the past, I've definitely felt like I'll come down here in the morning and, we talk about what we talk about, and I'll go upstairs and start my day, and then at the end of the day, it's not all the time, it's maybe once in a while, I'm like, "Did I do any of the things that I actually talked about this morning?"
yeah. That happens to me all the time.
Yeah.
Because the journal that I do, the Daily Stoic Journal, it has, it's same thing. It has a reading that I read in the morning, and I really hope that Ryan Holiday does this for the Daily Dad because I enjoy it. And then there's a second book called the Daily Stoic Journal, and it's just a question and then an empty space for a morning reflection and an empty space for an evening reflection. And so in the morning, I read the passage and I kind of like write about it. Like, yeah, I should really take this into account today. Like, what a good point, blah, 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 whatever I write in there. And then the next morning, when I do it, I do the evening reflection and I think about the day after reading that and I go, shit. Like more often than not, I'm like, really didn't do that. Like really just like that I wrote the words on the page and it just went right out my mind, and I went into, autopilot mode,
Yeah.
and just worked and did
Sometimes
my
you
thing.
write something down and, like, that's satisfying enough, and you
To
kinda
some degree,
sometimes.
I've noticed that it still seeps in, like that's what I have noticed, and that's how I am giving myself a lot of credit, and a lot of grace, uh, in those moments, because I've noticed it a lot of this stuff, it may not seep in that same day, but like over time, I'm noticing a huge difference.
Sorry, huge difference between when you first started journaling and now? Is that what?
Yeah, yeah, like the first, like I don't think the lessons hit me like I'll write something, I'll read a lesson like today's lesson about, encouraging them to be original instead of smart. And I'd be like, yeah, that's true. And like I won't go home tonight because I'm not going home tonight, but I won't go this weekend and just start saying like, oh, what do you guys want to do? Like, let's not focus on homework. What can we do that's like an original thought? Like, and we'll do that this weekend. But like over time, like that, all of this is seeping in, and it's giving me a different perspective on how to parent, how to do life, and these lessons are making it into my brain.
Yeah. Dom, let's dive into that. Dom, do you read Daily Dads by Ryan Holiday?
I do.
Okay, cool.
Just about every day. Again, I do take some days off on the weekend, and then I catch up on Monday, but yes.
Yeah. Um, so I really this today's page definitely this was a good one. I enjoyed it because I feel like this is something that really connects with my childhood. And some of the struggles that I deal with as a parent trying to guide kids, not just as a parent, but as a teacher, in what the
Mhm.
heck is creativity and how do you make an original thought. Um, there's a saying by some famous artist, I guess I should know it because I've referenced it plenty of times, is that there's no such thing as an original thought, which I would say for the most part in talking about like maybe original works, like physical works. Yeah, I would say that most things come from seeing something else because we're bombarded by inspiration every single day. Whether you know it or not, it might be in the form of a conversation, it might be in the form of like what you look up, it might be in the form of an advertisement. Um, I went to Yesterday, I went to the movie theater for Dollar Movie Tuesday, which is great.
Mm.
And I got
Nice.
to watch Paw Patrol with my 6-year-old. And it was great. I was listening. I did have an ear pod in my opposite ear from her, so I could listen to something because I don't think I could go through an entire 90 minutes of Paw Patrol. Um, but but with this kids movie, like there's still like that 45 minutes of advertisements before the movie, which is basically like candy, Mountain Dew, M&Ms, and some other. There was like some
Soda?
yeah, soda, anything else. I'm like I wonder how this is going to affect my 6-year-old sitting here with all these advertisements. Um, so with my kids, I would say that my middle kid, my Junie, definitely is my kid that will go against the grain for her entire life. Um,
Okay.
and she also has like the biggest struggle. Like, she's somewhere on the spectrum, but like, loves animals, obsessed with horses, and easily gets into her own world. Like she's still into like getting like horse figurines and animal figurines, putting them in the sand and just building this entire world. I don't see many other 10-year-olds doing that, at least out of her friend group. Um, and then on the other side, my 12-year-old, I would say, I'm not saying that she's less original, but I would say that she's more into the things that her age group is in. Like she
Yeah.
got she got a cell phone, so that whole world that her friend group is in. There's not a whole lot of swimming against the grain with her, and I would even say she is doing a good job of staying like kind of in the forefront of that. I always as When I was 12, I always felt like I was like a month behind any kind of trend. So that's kind of fun to see. So today's reading, I'm mostly keeping my middle daughter in mind with this because she's going to fight the current her entire life, whether
Yeah.
for ruin or riches. But I think that she is going to come up to adulthood as like my most independent thinker out of all my girls.
Yeah.
Um,
I agree with that.
she
My
like
my middle as well.
she struggles in school, but
Yeah.
everything else is like she's definitely gonna pave her own path more so than my 12-year-old. I don't know what my 6-year-old is gonna do yet. She's still all over me, which is great.
There
I'm
there are
not.
wild cards at that end,
Oh, and I'm gonna
you
stop
know.
talking here, but I'm gonna bring up something at BroFit City yesterday too. But go
Go
ahead.
ahead. Oh, no, go ahead.
Okay.
I'm good.
One
Let's do
thing
this.
I don't know if BroFit's here today, but he brought up that his 3-year old Haven, which I had the pleasure of meeting,
Mhm.
absolutely adorable and very similar to my 6-year old and how my girls grew up at that age. And he mentioned that coming up to kindergarten, he feels like he's trying to hold on to those last moments before like school starts. And there's definitely a part of having that 3-year-old at home all the time that's going to go away, but there's a lot more that's going to come back in exchange with going to school. Like I
Yeah.
feel like even at 6, like I would say, Brofit, if you're listening or check in, you definitely have at least 3 to 4 years more of like being your girl's hero for sure.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah, that kid, that essence of the kid, everything still interests them and intrigues them, and, they're still so random and funny and creative and crazy and wild and frustrating and all that stuff. Like, yeah, I think it lasts a little longer than kindergarten. I think entering them into school is definitely a different phase. And so, I can see, maybe what he was mostly getting into is like he's just not going to be around. He's not going to have her every hour of the day, because he stays at home with her. Um, but it's also there's also a part of it where that separation, like, makes for the reconnection, like, there's so many more things that they're gonna get to talk about, and there's so many things that she's gonna start to learn, and that just becomes the next phase of life, and it's a cool one, like, watching them go off to school, struggle, meet new people, have fun, learn new things, and then come home or come out the school gates into, a big hug from dad, and then tell you all about it. Like, spend the car ride home or the walk home if you're close enough to school, just in, like, little kid chatterbox mode. Like, I did this, I did, like, I've never met his daughter. I met his son. Um, and so I don't know if she's a chatterbox, but
yes, yes, she is.
it's definitely gonna be one of those, like Ryan's little girl, like, when she was on here the other day,
Yeah,
like, it's definitely one of those things where the walk home, 5-10 minutes, the kid barely breathes, so it's an interesting phase. Yes, Caitlin, kids are frustrating,
yeah.
that.
I would say at the very most, you have a year of the post-school chatterbox because it will quickly evolve into tell me about your day. What did you do today? I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. Nothing. Yeah, that's where my son's at.
Yeah.
I don't know how to stoke that and never get it to stop,
Yeah. I always like that's one of those situations where I'm like really trying hard to like think of like good generative questions
yeah.
to find out about their day. And it's been 8 years and I still don't know the secret answer to that.
I feel like it ebbs and flows. Like, I feel like sometimes I ask my girls how they're doing, how their day was, how their summer is, whatever, and I get nothing. And other times they won't shut up. It just, I don't know. Yeah, exactly. There's no rhyme or reason or rule to it. I mean, it probably has a lot to do with, like, I'm not too much of a chatterbox at home. Neither is my wife. Well, no, she talks a lot. And so it just has to do with our interaction, and I could have done better. So I'm trying to do better. That's what I'm trying to do now. I'm trying to, have these conversations with them more and tell them about my day and interact with them more and kind of like I think it's just one of those things, just practicing conversation. And, it's a good thing to have in mind and be doing with your kids, because that's how they're gonna learn to interact with other people, and I think that's part of, like, when I was growing up, it wasn't something that I saw a lot, so I didn't really learn that, until I was older, so I think that's something I've noticed.
Yeah. So I also think about like at what age does that get annoying? Because there's definitely an age where it's like you get asked that same question every day, and
Oh, from the kid's point of view?
at some point your parents just become annoying. Um,
Yeah.
I think one way that I think can get around that is like just mindfully jumping into what they're doing at the moment. Like for example, I was listening to something yesterday about it was about technology and teens, and instead of like the it was a really good discussion between a father and his teenage son about the family expectations around technology, and like the dad was asking like how would you prefer that I tell you, hey, you've been on the screen too long. um,
Mhm.
and that was a really good discussion, and I took a lot from that. Like you talk a lot about Grow Garden, you know, like you jumped into Grow Garden, and I'm like, if they're playing that game, like jump in and just ask them to show you around. They're probably going to really want to show you around their world that they've been building,
Yeah.
even though it's you know constant frustration to parents everywhere.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That I talked about that the other day about just jumping from game to game. Oh, yeah, that was with Brofit. Yep, that's right. Because he was saying it's been something that's frustrated him with his son a little bit, and
I guess is
he
that what
kind
maybe that's what I heard yesterday was you guys.
it was me and yeah, that was me and Brofit.
Okay. Yeah.
It's so funny. It's just yesterday that I was listening to you like, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Listening to some guys chat about what they're doing with their kids online. Um,
Yeah, because I fought that for many years, like, because I definitely have struggled in my life with being overly addicted or committed to video games, um, like, all the way up until, like, having my first kid, I was, still doing, like, the late nights Call of Duty stuff, and then I kinda shut it down for a really long time, and then my daughter started playing something. I think I've played some Roblox with my daughters, like, in their early ages, some Fortnite, stuff like that, and I go through these periods where it gets to be too much, and then I have to go cold turkey for a little bit, but then my kids still wanna do it. Profit, we've been talking about you this entire episode, so
yeah.
you're gonna have to listen back. Um
Um,
And, yeah,
so
I'm
go on.
I'm there right now with the Roblox thing because it's definitely creeping my life.
Yeah. Um, maybe this was you guys as well, or maybe it was somebody else. That was this because I was definitely listening to two things yesterday. Um, and this, I think this kind of goes along with this whole, being creative, being original is better than being smart. Is I would say that like if you make that first move and jump into their world and ask them to show you around, like you are by default, like just kind of enhancing and promoting your creativity.
Yeah.
Like if they're whatever jumping game they're on, because that seems to be like the thing that they do in most games is like jump from platform to platform. If you jump in there and you tell them to show you what you do, it's like you are asking them to explain what it is they're doing, which is like half
Yeah.
being creative. Or like C said, as a teacher, like like the the hardest thing about becoming a teacher, I would say, is learning how to explain what you know. And if you can get your kids to teach you what they know, then
Hmm.
like
Yeah.
that's a big step.
Well, it's like a role reversal, right? It
Yeah.
gives them a chance to feel like the adult or the smarter one or like, they know something that you don't know, and they get to teach it to you. So it's a little boost of confidence for them, especially, you get into some of those games and like my girls just like those jumping games. I can't do those. They are really tough for me. The way that the control works, I just don't get it. And so my girls just destroy me in those. and
Yeah.
it just makes them feel a little better. You know, have a little fun with your kids. There's nothing wrong with losing to your kids. Letting them lose is a different story, but there's nothing wrong with actually losing to them.
Yeah. Letting them lose, letting them win, and also kind of like C said here, tell them that you learn from all the time. That is true. And it's like, even if you know exactly what they're doing, like if they pick up like an old game that you know, like Big Paintball 2, which I will own any teenager in ever. Um, let them explain it to you, even if you know it. you know, um, because that's part of learning is explaining. So was it Maslow's hierarchy?
What's your gun you use in Big Paintball 2?
What was the last gun that I
Morning,
used?
MP.
I didn't pay for any guns. I didn't pay for
Yeah.
any. I got up to some. I was a big sniper rifle guy,
Really? That's
jumping
funny.
out of trees.
Yeah, my like me and the kids, like so Bentley's like the Gatling gun guy, like the spray and pray.
Yeah,
Me and Bailey are like assault rifle people, and then Brooklyn's our sniper. And like it's just crazy. I've tried all the guns and I can't get on board with the other two. Like and neither can Bailey. And Brooklyn sits there and she owns like she destroys fools with the sniper rifle and I'm just like I don't get it. I've tried. Yeah, but good
I did.
times.
I will destroy 13-year-olds, especially after they insult my mother online in the chat.
You ever like challenge your students?
I so I did
You're like having a
once.
hard time in class explaining something. You want to take this to big paintball too? Let's go.
The last day of 2 years ago, I was teaching Adobe Illustrator to seventh graders and teaching them how to use like a desktop computer. That's a challenge in itself before you do any software. But the last day of the quarter, like instead of bringing up like my lesson slides, I brought up like a login screen to Big Paintball. Like they're just a free day, and they're like, "Oh, let's go!" And I smeared them, and I don't think I think at some point it became uncool. It was like, why is this adult this good at this game?
They went from like we're gonna destroy this old boomer to like holy crap to like damn that guy's got respect to like
Does this guy
okay
even
it's a
know
little weird that he's that good. Does he actually have a wife and kids or is he at home in his mom's basement playing?
uh, yeah, GoldenEye MP.
Yeah.
That's where it all started.
Yeah. GoldenEye through Call of Duty through to big paintball.
Yeah.
And it's the most ridiculously like basic game too. Like it's nowhere near as complex as GoldenEye or Call of Duty.
No, but it's all like the most important mechanics. That's all it is. Like
Yeah.
Roblox is all mechanics with none of the fluff,
Yeah.
which is
Yep.
why I appreciate it. Like we've gone up to like PlayStation 5 where it's like you're in real life, and like I hear stories of like kids asking for like high-end gaming PCs to just play Roblox.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh man. See, springing up nostalgia. I know exactly what you're talking about. Show your age by referencing your favorite GoldenEye level.
Oh man. So many hours spent on that game.
Yeah.
So many hours. But like so that like brings up a good point is like we all like spent so many hours on that game, like Mario Kart, like all these games. And our kids are just doing the same thing we are. And to some degree, and I tell my kids this all the time, is like I can't get too mad at them for playing games all the time because that's what I used to do, and I brought that into their life because I am still like a video game kid at heart. Like I still would pick up an N64 controller at any point, any day, if someone handed it to me, and rock some GoldenEye or Mario Kart, like right now, instead of going to work. Like,
Yeah,
um,
I think that's a great point. It's like I would say that like, you know, uh, I think it was on the show that I brought up like how like my mom set up. I think maybe I just journaled this. I don't know. My mom set up like the reason why art has become part of my life is because my mom helped me set up a space when I was in middle
yeah,
school. And part of that is video games. Like my mom worked in computers in the 80s, and we always had a computer in the house. And she always had this DOS list of games. And like you could just jump in. I didn't have to do any command lines. Like she programmed all that. So gaming, like that has been a huge part of like my creativity. And that is a good point, is that when we see our kids on the screen all the time, is like I would definitely be the same kid if I was
yeah, oh
now.
yeah.
Um,
Or if you
and
brought the technology of today back to our childhood, it'd be no different.
yeah, and it's just like I mean, I think there's definitely a valid concern with like the social media part. Um,
Mhm.
but it's like if I really truly think back to like those years and the influence that like games had on me, like yeah, it's huge. It's like you know, a good quarter to third of my life, of my young life. Um, there's something else. One more thing I was going to add. I forget it though. So
Thanks for
yeah,
coming on, man. I'm happy to see you again. Happy you had a good day, uh, with your daughters. Um, Good to see you. I'm happy everybody's numbers jumped up today. I'm not gonna lie, it was a little rough for me seeing a bunch of threes, fours, and fives. But again,
you were like our therapist yesterday. So
I'm stoked that people put the numbers in there, because I definitely don't want people coming in here just saying we're sevens, eights, and nines all the time. I know we have rough days going on. I I've been on a streak of pretty good days, and then I just came to the office today, and for some reason, Google Drive decided to leave my computer. So now I got to spend the next hour or two trying to get that back. And I'm not loving technology right now. So, but I'm
yeah,
still feeling good.
I have a full iCloud, so I either have to erase
Mm, that
or
sucks.
cancel my subscription. Gross.
Yeah,
But yeah, I'm assuming we're on a 10 scale with all that. So
yeah, they were.
but yeah, the bad days make the good days better. So hopefully today it's better than yesterday.
Oof. 5-day recovery right before national. All right, so hugs, but gently for Caitlin. Okay, everybody.
Air hugs,
Well, air
hover hugs.
hugs. All right,
Dom, give
everybody
us
have a
where's the
what?
music?
Yeah. Everybody have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for coming. Thank you for engaging. We love you. Go read the book.